All right, what's going on, everybody? I am back. Mike Lindsley, 9 Minutes with me on IGTV, YouTube, and Facebook. I am here at the Brewerton Diner on a Monday morning. The place is bumping, the place is going, and you can come down here for breakfast. I just ordered my French toast, scrambled eggs, and bacon. Can't wait for it. Or you can come during lunch. You can get a hero. You can get a Philly steak. You can get a Reuben. You can get the Brewerton burger. There's a bunch of awesome menu items here at the Brewerton Diner. Make sure you pick up gift cards. Great stocking stuffer for the holidays. And we are currently running our next Syracuse basketball ticket giveaway. Mike, Jackie, and the gang doing a great job here. Pittsburgh, Syracuse. You can win those tickets. The sign-up sheet is up front. So make sure you come here and try to win those tickets. Have some great breakfast or lunch. Get a couple of gift cards for your family and friends for the holidays. It's a great experience. They've got the HD TVs up in here. You can watch your highlights. It's really a cool place. And it's just off the Bartell Road exit in Brewerton. So make sure you get down to the official diner of the ML Sports Platter, the Brewerton Diner. What am I going to get into for the 9 minutes here? I'm going to get into the Cleveland Browns. Look at this team. Can you believe what this team has done this year? I mean, last year this team didn't even win a freaking football game, and this year they have been absolutely positively terrific. There's no doubt about it. And when you look at this team, from a quarterback standpoint, they're building around Baker Mayfield. When you have a look at the weapons they've got, they went out and picked up Jarvis Landry. They went out and had a really good draft in terms of picking up running backs and defensive players. We know how good Myles Garrett is on that defensive side. He could turn into a Khalil Mack or a Von Miller here in the not-too-distant future. He's not that far away from making that kind of a difference, for making offenses have to game plan around him. I love Nick Chubb. I love Carlos Hyde. Baker Mayfield's playing his ass off. The offensive line is better than I thought. And what I've really seen the last, 3 or 4 weeks of this football team has been, when you think about the games that they've had, when you look at the games that they've won, they have won them in non-Browns fashion. In the past, the Browns always burn a timeout. The Browns always turn the ball over. The Browns always make a stupid freaking mistake. And right now, they're just not doing that. And the last 2 games against Denver on the road, hostile environment. Again, I know Denver's not a playoff team, but that's still a really good win for Cleveland to go in there and win on the road and have Baker Mayfield experience that and all the rest and pick up the win. It was close. He had to make throws late. Terrific stuff there. And then they beat Carolina at home. Again, Carolina's kind of on the fringe of the playoffs as well, but still a team that has been there, has been to the playoffs, has Cam Newton, has major playmakers, which is a lot more than what the Browns have had the last several years, and they beat them as well. They lost to Houston on the road, got bombed by Cincinnati before that, beat Atlanta at home. But, I thought for a little while they hung with the KC Chiefs. They barely lost that game to Tampa early in the year in overtime. They beat the Ravens to start the year. So I just have been super impressed with this Cleveland Browns outfit. They're super fun to watch. They have a great future ahead of them with the likes of core players to build around. You're going to build around Myles Garrett on the defensive side. You're going to build around Baker Mayfield, the quarterback, on the offensive side. John Dorsey, by the way, the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, appears to be just a complete and utter shark at this football thing. Why do I say that? It's very simple. John Dorsey knew right away when he got hired that Hugh Jackson was not his guy. He gave him an opportunity to coach, which I was actually pretty shocked by. But Hugh Jackson out-fired, Todd Haley out-fired Greg Williams in as head coach, which is probably the most surprising thing about Cleveland continuing to win. I'm not a big Greg Williams guy. I think he is a better coordinator. We've seen that a lot of times in the past in the NFL, where coordinators are really good, but they're not really good head coaches. They can't really become CEOs, going from a coordinator position defensively or offensively, and then all of a sudden becoming a head coach is a completely different ballgame. We've seen guys like Wade Phillips stumble. We've seen Jim Schwartz stumble. We've seen Mike Mularkey stumble. We've seen Dick Duran stumble. We've seen Rex Ryan stumble. We've seen multiple players, Todd Bowles, multiple coaches stumble when they have to become the CEO of their football team as the head coach. But so far, so good. I don't think Williams will be the long-term answer there. I think Dorsey's going to try to go out and get an offensive mind for this team. If Williams doesn't want to get bumped back down to defensive coordinator, then you just can him. but I think they're going to try to go get an offensive mind, maybe like the next Frank Reich type. Would they try to go get Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma? He has ties to Baker Mayfield. He coached Baker Mayfield with the Sooners last year, and a guy who I think will eventually coach in the NFL. I'm not really sure when, but I think eventually he will. In addition, you've got the situation going. You've got the situation going on with the division as well. I think that's another big thing to look at for Cleveland right now. You've got the Ravens, a team that is basically done with Joe Flacco. Lamar Jackson is in. He's been a nice breath of fresh air for this team, but let's be honest, this guy runs the ball a hell of a lot more than he throws it, and that's a danger zone in the NFL. This is not Louisville anymore, where you can run away from the Florida States and the Clemsons and the Syracuses and the Dukes and the North Carolinas and the Wake Forests. You can't run away from those teams in the NFL. You can't run away from the Steelers linebackers. You can't run away, from Myles Garrett. So I think that Baltimore is still in a really tough spot because they have a hybrid guy who runs the ball too much, and there's still enough holes there. The Steelers have clearly, even though I know they beat New England yesterday, and that was a really, really great win for them, the Steelers have probably regressed a little bit this year as well. And then you take a look at the Cincinnati Bengals, and that's a team in total transition. I wouldn't be surprised if they traded A.J. Green in the offseason as well. And so that puts Cleveland, again, in a little bit more of a position to win. And as we start to see the hierarchy of the AFC, most notably the New England Patriots, sort of dwindle down a little bit, if Cleveland can kind of build up here, everybody can kind of take advantage, in my opinion, of the New England Patriots, starting to fall down the stairs a little bit. I don't think it's completely at the end yet, but you're starting to see some things kind of come undone there. Tom Brady was horrible yesterday against the Steelers down the stretch. He threw a horrendous pick, tried to get that ball out of bounds, couldn't do it. He was brutal in that game. And then you've got, guys getting older. Gronk is basically at the end. You've got Edelman just came off of a knee injury. He still doesn't look the same. Still big-time playmaker, but doesn't look the same. The defense misses a ton of spots. They miss jump balls. They miss covers. They miss zone reads. They miss one-on-one stuff. Gilmore is still getting beat on occasion. So this Patriot team starting to come on down a little bit. They'll win the AFC East, so go back to the playoffs, and they will be formidable, and they always will be as long as they have Brady and Belichick. But again, from being a superior team, being the hierarchy of the AFC, the Patriots dwindling down helps teams like Cleveland. So I just think the Cleveland Browns have a really awesome future. I really do. I think they've got a bright future with Baker Mayfield. Again, you're building around guys, and I've said this a million times in sports. How do you win? You win up the middle. You build up the middle. You build with depth. You build with balance and depth, and then you build up right up the middle. In hockey, two-way centerman, defenseman, and goaltending. NFL, offensive line and quarterback, and having somebody on the defensive line who's a difference maker who you can kind of makeshift around that defensive line. Same thing with baseball: catcher, shortstop, center field, pitching, bullpen. That's how you're built right up the middle. And Cleveland right now appears to be built up the middle. Myles Garrett, cornerstone player. Baker Mayfield right now looks like a cornerstone player. And then you've got some nice pieces right there with that team. And I think this could be a team that could be a real force moving forward. The division sets up for them as teams start to tail off a little bit as well. I love it. I think it's going to be an awesome time if you're a Browns fan. And hey, let's face facts. It came at the perfect time with LeBron James leaving Cleveland for LA. Cleveland fans needed something to take LeBron's place. Well, here they have it with that football-rich city in the Cleveland Browns. I'm Mike Lindsley here from the Brewerton Diner, 9 Minutes with me on IGTV, Facebook, and YouTube. Make sure you get me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. Get down here to the Brewerton Diner for breakfast, for lunch, and the Syracuse basketball ticket sign-up giveaways that we're doing throughout the rest of this year. Big time thanks to Mike and Jackie and the gang. They're doing a great job here. Come down, breakfast, lunch, sign up for those tickets, get the gift cards for your family and friends. The Brewerton Diner is the official diner of the ML Sports Platter. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.